friends, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to do an empties. I don't have tons and, I always say I don't have tons and tons of, mostly skincare. It is mostly skincare, and I'm hoping that one of these is not a repeat, but here we are. We've got some empties for the month. First of all, I feel like I had this last month. We've been using this a lot recently, and I don't know whether it was this or maybe it was the vanilla bean shampoo that I was talking about, but again, I'm on a mission for the ultimate vanilla scent. I'm on a mission to create the ultimate vanilla candle. We already have our birthday cake. We already have our sugar cookie that's going to come back for Christmas. But I really feel like I want to make like a non-gourmand, really luxurious vanilla scent. Vanilla was always my favourite scent. And I think it was just so overdone. And it was just everywhere that I kind of went away from it. But recently, Lee has been buying vanilla scented things and it's just bringing me back. I love this. Vanilla and shea butter. It is happiness bottled. Cushions. Cushions? Cousins. Is it cousins or do you say cushions? I feel like I would say cushions. Either way, it is happiness bottled. I do recommend it. I use it as shower gel and occasionally when I'm feeling fancy, I use it as bubble bath. I used all of this, and I will say, I think it works. Soap and Glory, as clear as clay. I have this in the moisturising one, which was like a gel. I wasn't so keen on the gel one, but this was really nice. Well, I say it was really nice. It did clear my skin. But if you are not familiar with the clay mask, and I mean, how could that be? But maybe, I feel like I am of the generation of the clay mask. Like we're all about a clay mask. So for me, this is just like, I know if I use a clay mask within a few days, I'm breaking out. It's bringing those, this is how they used to tell us, it's bringing the impurities to the surface so that you can deal with them with another product. This is not clearing your skin. This is like drawing it all out. If you want to prep your skin for like a special event, do not use a clay mask. A clay mask is going to give you breakouts. It doesn't give you breakouts, but it brings them out. So 100%, this is what this did. I haven't had a good clay mask in a while that has done that. So I think I would probably buy this again. It also worked pretty quickly. So while I was in, what does it say on the back? Enriched with kaolin and bentonite clay, our purifying clay mask cleanses away pore clogging dirt and removes excess oil. Well, I would be in the bath and I just kind of had this in the bathroom, put it on my face while I was like shaving my legs or whatever, maybe 10 minutes max. I would leave it on my skin. I definitely wasn't leaving it on my skin for long enough to harden or dry because I was like in a steamy bathroom. But it still, I felt, did the job. So if you're in the market for a decently priced clay mask that will make you break out, cannot overstate it, this was good. I liked this. To then combat that, I'm hoping I didn't show you this last month because it was very near the end last month, but I feel like I forgot to mention it. It's the ordinary niacinamide, 10% niacinamide, 1% zinc. So this is the one that I feel like I did a whole video just talking about niacinamide, maybe last year, maybe the year before. I was obsessed. It was like my new wonder product and I still absolutely love it. But this was the one that I said I couldn't use all over my face. I basically used this as a spot treatment. It was very drying, but then that works when you're looking to get rid of some spots. At the moment, I've got quite a few little breakouts around like my jaw and my chin area, but that's partially travel. It's partially the fact that I really wasn't looking after my skin after I got home. I instead threw myself into a home DIY project and still have not packed / unpacked / washed all my clothes. I just have not done any of the things I was supposed to do and just let my skin be. I didn't wear makeup. I was barely cleansing, barely moisturising, and I was not using my facial cleansing brush, which is the key in my skincare routine. And so I think that is what's going on here. That is not the clay mask at play. That is other things. But I used the very, very last little bits of this morning. It does say apply to entire face, morning and evening. I feel like if you are... I was like, if you've got combination skin, maybe if you're super oily, maybe if you're like a teenager, but I'm like pushing 40, combination skin, not so oily these days, can be oily, don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of embracing the oil because oil is youthful when you're nearly 40. At 18, I was like, get rid of all that oil. Now I'm like, it's fine. I'll live with it. But then it can still get a little bit dry, and I definitely am breakout prone if I use things that dry out my skin too much. So just err on the side of caution with it, but I have found that this is pretty good if you are kind of usually like a salicylic acid kind of person. This might be good for you as well. It's good, but I didn't, not all over my face. Not all over my face. Speaking of acids, the PHA Exfoliating and Hydrating Body Water Cream. This is from the Inky list. They sent me this, and they also sent me like a solid, it was like a deodorant stick type thing that went with this. The deodorant stick thing I liked more. I'm trying to remember where that is. I feel like it's around here somewhere. Just hold the line. Oh, let me move that off. Hold the line. I feel like I literally saw it this morning. I could be wrong, but I was looking for something else, and I'm sure I saw. Oh, I found it! I knew it. Okay, it's this glycolic acid exfoliating stick. So these are actually different things because this is PHA exfoliating. I thought they were the same thing, just in two different forms. So this is like a solid situation, which I've told you a million times before, but I always had really bad skin as a kid, and I had bad skin like arms, chest, and back rather than face. So I, in a crazy world, and like my mom 100% thought she was doing the right thing, bought me a like a facial solarium. So you like a little mini sunbed that's like this. It's got all the bulbs like this that you were supposed to, like, you know, sit in front of, and you tan your face a little bit. This was the olden days. Everything was in black and white, and we had facial solariums that you could buy from Argos for 50 quid. So we had the facial solarium. The only thing that makes me feel better as an adult now is knowing that those bulbs wear, and they won't have been like at full strength for the amount of time that I had it, because I would sit with that thing on me, like, just thinking about it now. Okay, so here. Imagine this is my facial solarium. This is a mirror. Imagine this is my facial solarium. I used to sit like this with it on my chest and just, you know, do whatever I was doing, reading, watching TV, drawing, imagine. And I used to just sit with it like this. My chest. Now to think of the thin skin and the crepey wrinkles on my neck and my chest that I could have, like, created from those years of doing that. It totally did clear up my skin. I did then go on to use sunbeds in my early 20s, late teens, because it cleared up my skin and it was absolutely incredible. And then I feel like it was maybe around the time that I discovered YouTube and like beauty and stuff like that, or the beauty community, that I was clued up on the, oh, that's not great for you. And I was around 25, 26. It wasn't good. Thankfully, because I had a baby, I couldn't just go on the sunbed whenever I wanted. It was like once in a blue moon. I feel like if I'd been like Lauren to myself, I would have been in a real different situation right now. But thankfully, I didn't have the time alone to be able to just like pop on the sunbed 3 times a week. But I really would have. I really would have. And I can't speak enough to people about like not doing that now. But all that is to say, I'm obsessed with glycolic acid to get the smoothest possible skin, like on my chest, on my arms, on my back, all of that stuff. And this is what this is amazing for. So like I use Pixie Glow Tonic. I have it in a spray bottle. Honestly, Pixie Glow Tonic, I've used loads of different ones. It is the best one. It is the best one. It's the most expensive. And I think if you were using it like all the time, constantly on your face and stuff, maybe it would be a little bit, I don't know. But the way I use it, a couple of times a week in a spray bottle, and I use it all over my top half of my body and the backs of my legs, because that's where I get a little bit rashy as well. But this is really, really good for areas either that I can't reach very well, or I can get Lee to like put this all over my back and it kind of stays on a little bit better. I don't have to worry quite so much about like drying off because it's like balmy. I have found this to be quite effective. I would say equally as effective as Pixie Glow Tonic for the rough skin, because I had that skin when I was a kid. I've still got that thing in me of like wanting clear, smooth skin in those areas specifically. And like here, that bit there. Oh, it's so weird how it sticks with you. I haven't had acne in those areas for like nearly 20 years probably, but it's still with me. It's still like, if I see a little bit of something rashy, I'm like, oh, I need to get rid of it immediately. It's so weird. It's so weird how that sticks with you. And so stuff that is to do with like body acids, I'm all over them. And I really think that this solid thing does something. This, not so much. I wasn't impressed really at all. Ameliorate still is the best in terms of a lotion, although again, expensive. They're all expensive. There's nothing I found that is like super, super cheap and really works well. At the moment, I'm trying one for body acne because sometimes I'll get like, in the, you know, like this area, kind of like here, I'll get like a rash of spots like there. Such a weird place to get spots, isn't it? But again, I'm very self-conscious about that particular area, and so I'm straight on it. And at the moment, I'm trying a body spot type treatment thing that is, it kind of reminds me of calamine lotion. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know. It's like an Asian product. But yeah, all that is to say, hit and miss on those two things. This is the L'Occitane shower oil. What is it actually called? Like almond shower oil is what I would call it, but it's like à l'huile d'amande with almond oil. I don't actually know what the name is. Huile de douche, which I'm assuming is shower oil. Cleansing and softening. Yeah, okay. Well, so I used the very, very last of this as bubble bath. Like, when I say the very last of it, because don't be outraged, it's, again, so expensive. It wasn't enough to use anything. I had, like, the very tiny, tiny dregs, and then I literally opened it up and rinsed it underneath the tap. So I got the very, very last layer of product, and I used that as bath oil. It was really nice that way. My whole bathroom smelled so nice for such a small amount of product. That is something with this, that although it is pricey, you only do really need the smallest amount. And it's so funny how when you first get something like this, you're a little bit liberal, you're like slathering it on and, oh yeah, I'm using this to shave my legs. You know, it's nice to kind of layer it all over yourself and leave it for a few minutes and then buff, and you get like a really nice softened skin. All of that is great. And then when you get to the very, very last, probably last quarter, that last quarter you can make it last like 6 months. Because you're suddenly like, okay, I don't need to use this much. I can use a little bit less liberal. But this is really nice. One of those, I wouldn't have it in my shower all the time. I wouldn't have it in my routine all the time. But it's really, really nice to have. It's an oldie but a goodie, but it's not something that I can justify having all the time. This I wanted to mention because although it's not completely finished, it's nearly there. It's the Jessica Phenomen-Oil, which every single time I tell someone about this, it makes me laugh because I think of my nail tech who told me about it, and she said, have you tried that Phenom oil? And when I Googled it, because I was like, what should I buy? Which one should I buy? She's like, you need to have a cuticle oil, which I don't even know why I'm bothering right now, because I have painted the entire, well, half of the downstairs area a very, very dark blue this weekend, and my nails were destroyed. I don't know when my next appointment is actually, but I was thinking I need to, they're not actually that bad on that hand. Maybe not that bad. They've held up pretty well. Anyway, all this is to say, I don't do the cuticle oil thing very much until like the week. It's like when you've got the dentist and you suddenly start flossing your teeth. I don't do cuticle oil until like the week before I've got my appointment, and then I'm like, ooh, she needs to see that my cuticles are really healthy and I've been doing this all the time. Haven't. But the oil is actually called Phenomen-Oil, and it really tickled me because she told me it was called Phenom oil, and then when I Googled it, I said, I think it's a play on words, and it probably made her laugh. It's one of those things, like if somebody just tells you what something's called, then you just accept it. Whereas if you discover it on your own and you read it differently, you're like, oh, I can see the pun. But if someone just gives you something, because I think that's what the situation was, someone had introduced her to it, this is what this is called. Oh, okay, this is what this is called, we just accept it. When I was in Hong Kong with my friend, she was telling me that one of their friends had given information to everybody else of like, oh, you'll never guess what. I'm going to put a little bit of this in my hair because it smells so nice. I was going to tell you why I liked the oil. I'm not on it today, honestly. I'm not with it at the moment. I'm a bit scattered would be the best way of putting it. Scattered. I'm not with it. I feel slightly all over the place. But that oil is really nice because it absorbs really nicely, it smells nice, and although it is oily, the residue that's left behind isn't like, ugh, you know? Sometimes it just feels tacky and horrible, but it feels really nice. And it is Jessica, which isn't, again, today's theme is expensive, more expensive than it needs to be. Yeah, my friend Molly was telling me that one of their friends had like given this information, given some fact about something in Hong Kong of like, this is what this is, and everyone just accepted it and like gave other people that same like, you'll never, so and so told me this is just a fact, and everyone just accepts that it's a fact. And then they saw it for themselves and read it for themselves and they were like, you've been misreading this is not a fact at all. And it's so funny to me how if you tell someone something with enough confidence, with enough like of an assertive tone, and you seem like you know what you're talking about, then they just accept it. They're just like, yeah, that sounds right. She seems like someone who would know that. It's amusing to me because so often people don't Google things. I don't want to say cynical, but I am cynical. If someone gives me information, it's everything I can do not to Google it in front of them to fact check that information. Like, I can't just, like, even headlines. If so, like, Lee will be like, have you heard about, and I've already got my phone. I'm like, well, before we have a conversation about it, let's see what really happened. Have you heard so-and-so's getting divorced? And I'm like, did you hear about, by the time I'm filming these back to back. I don't know what will have happened by the time you see this, but Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, do we think, let me date this. This is the 17th of I'll say 17th of June. That would be weird, wouldn't it? 17th of September, I'm saying this now. Do we think that the divorce thing was all a ruse? Because bear in mind, I am very much Team Jennifer Lopez here. Do we think that it was all a ruse to somehow let her off her tour that wasn't selling well? Do we think that that's what that was? I thought that's what was happening until she actually filed for divorce, and I was like, no! This makes me so sad. But now, I don't know. I just want them to be together. I just want them to work out. When I remember when I was doing my 10,000 steps a day a few years ago and I was listening to her book, something to do with love, I can't remember. This was before they got back together. And the way she talked about Ben Affleck, I was like, I think she wrote that pre-A-Rod, but post Mark Anthony divorce. And I was just like, she just loved him. She just loved him so much. He was the one that got away. It really felt like that. Even, I think probably at the time she wrote that, he might have even still been married to Jennifer Garner. So there was no reason for her to say, it just like, you just kind of got the vibe of, this is why they split up. It was really sad. So I still, in my little millennial heart, hope that they can make it work. But God, by the time you see this, they might be fully divorced. So